A full moon slivers the stalls of the light markets, the bazaar of the living and the dead, here, where gin mixed with mortals and gods, where sorcery sits thick on the air, blue as incense. A crow presides over its wares, silver rings set with opals like apricot pits nestled in obsidian silk. Human teeth peer out of the smoky glass of a tall vase. Mother of pearl dice wink in the candlelight, their pale faces carved with the symbols even the jinn are too young to know. A young man approaches the crow's stall, gliding dark out of the shadows of the alley. His eyes and hair are jet moonless night. His shoulders bear the velvet raiment of 8 heavens. 1,000 turns of the stars have passed. The god called Parvis last met the crow's eyes. These are not the eyes of a common crow, but raw rubies, their luster the gleam of new-spilled blood. You return at last, my prince, my lord. 1,000 praises, 1,000 thanks. The crow bobs its head, rubies wink in candlelight. Tell me, my prince, what it is you seek from your humble servant. The god's eyes graze the crow's wares. Golden astrolabes inlaid with bulkash, rubies gleam in the light of a dozen floating candles. 8 oracle bones yellowed with age and use, arrayed in a sinister, gap-toothed smile. They leered at a collar necklace woven with leather and human hair, adorned with mismatched emeralds and a panther's incisors. Valued patron, flickering candlelight reveals a note tucked beneath one fang. Please do not touch. Object is cursed. The god speaks in a voice smooth and inky as midnight dream darkness, cloaking the chatter and bustle of the ancient bazaar in dusk. The singe à savoir, a patient stone. With a lazy hand, the god gestures to a smooth stone no bigger than a girl's clenched fist, dull and unremarkable. I will take that one as a gift for the household of my betrothed. The crow's head tilts to the side in a precise avian gesture. Its eyes stare past the god and at him in one gaze, reading every layer of immortal flesh and soul. A patient stone is no ordinary gift, my lord. The god's world is at once still. He watches every bob of the crow's silky ebony head as it speaks, every twinkle of its ruby eyes. A wise prince would listen to the worries poured into such a stone. The words fall from the crow's beak and settle, heavy as scent of ambergris, into the god's marrow. They caress that unsettled feeling that it's made its home in his bones since he awoke from a millennium of cursed sleep. A cool finger on a fevered brow. The god shivers beneath his midnight raiment. He will. A world away, when the moon is a crescent, a mortal girl dies. The walls of her hut collapse as a voracious desert sweeps in alive, a div swallowing all in its path. She, Soraya, cradles her knees, pressing them into her forehead, even as her eyes clench shut. Hungry sand bites her lids, her ears, her scalp, bites the raw skin inside her nose. She clutches a stone in one fist. Tell it your dreams, tell it your fears, tell it your wishes, her mother whispered into her hair, and all will be well. But not all will be well. Sand has swallowed her mother, her home, and her heart throbs in her throat, screaming for release from its meaty cage. Help me, she begs the patient stone. The wind, anyone, help me. The wind whips her long, coarse hair, lashing her face and arms. A roar fills her skull and chest, as if the storm is no element but a beast, and then at once it stills. Soraya does not move as her hair settles on her back. As silence pours heavy over her shoulders, she pulls her knees tighter, even as light seeps through her shut eyelids. Girl, a voice rasps, dry as bone on bone. She raises her head. Hut and storm are vanished, and she sits on the side of a dune. The sand in which her bare feet sink is cool, the sky low and muddy. She releases her grip on her legs, but her stone, the patient stone, has vanished. Look at me. She turns to the boys. To her right is the sun-bleached skull of a water buffalo, half submerged in dune sand. A crow perches on one long curved horn, shifting its weight back and forth. Its eyes are the gleam of blood on rock, the last lusty sliver of sunset. You'll do. Crows cannot whisper, or can they? The crow bobs its head once, twice. Will you come into the desert? I know a place to shelter you from the storm. Soraya shakes like oracle bones tossed on the wind. The desert is dangerous. The desert means death. Clack. The crow snaps its beak impatient. Are you not already dead? She does not know. Come. She looks past the crow. Where is she? Vast dunes roll sensuous and dizzying toward a gray horizon. Her dress, nothing more than rags, snaps against her body in a cool wind. Are you not already dead? Perhaps she is. Perhaps there's no longer any reason to be afraid, no longer anything left to you. And yet, she hesitates. The tang on heavy air presses more metallic, moist with each breath. A crack, like one boulder against one another, rumbles from a distant heaven. Alive or dead, she'd be a fool not to accept the crow's offer of a shelter. She plants her palms in sand as an ache the size of a patient stone yawns in her chest. Did the wind snatch it from her fist? With 3 beats of its sleek jet wings, the crow is before her now, above her. Come. She pushes herself upright and follows. Time slips effortless beneath her bare feet. Sand vanishes for hard dirt and sharp rocks. Black mountains rise before her, arrogant fangs piercing heavy clouds. Come. A clap of thunder. Pellets of rain strike her once, twice, a torrent. She's trembling when she reaches the threshold of the mountains. Here an archway soars above her head, gaping graceful as a temple hewn by gods. She follows the echo of the crow's beating wings into the heart of the mountain. Cool stone walls weep around her. No light guides her feet down the rocky path. Nothing but the breathy beat of wings. Then stone above her sweeps heavenward, drawing her eyes up to bright light. The crown of the mountain is open to the gray sky. A step beyond where she stands in the shadows, rain falls into the heart of the mountain, filling the cavern with moisture and the echo of raindrops on stone. Soraya lingers, her eyes fixed on the sky. The crow glides over her shoulder into the rain, into the heart of the cavern, where a palace is hewn from the bones of the mountain itself, illuminated from above. Come. Her first step into the light is tentative. Rain slides down her face as she walks through the gentle sheets of it. When she reaches the walls of the palace, her rags are drenched, but she does not tremble. The crow descends to her left, talons sharp on stone. Before her is a stone door, high, arching, simple and solid. It has no handle, no lock, no hinge. Part of the wall itself, but for the strange glyphs carved into it, its face blackened with soot. A bud of realization blooms in her chest. Even if she knew how to read, these markings would not sing her their secrets. They were not carved by mortal hands. Her left hand rises from her side, not at her bidding, the door's bidding. Her fingertips brush the glyphs as gently as if they were petals. A single note echoes through her rib cage. Come. She presses palm to stone, and the door vanishes. Her breath catches in her throat. Before her is blue-black darkness, and that new voice, the echoing note of warm dusk. Come. Here I leave you, the crow says. A sharp cock of its head, ruby eyes regard her with a softness unlikely in stone. Be kind before you are clever, it says. Eternity is not one with less. The crow soars through the rain, through the open crown of the mountain, and she is alone. A chill breeze snakes around her arms. She considers the doorway, wary. Are you not already dead? All she knows is that she is shivering, and beyond the door is shelter from the rain. One tentative step. As if a tender hand has taken a loose thread from her dress and pulled, she is over the threshold, the dry darkness drinking her in, tasting her wet hair, curling around her neck. The shadows gray with each step. She turns a corner and pauses. Windows open on either side of a corridor before her, pointed arches lifting toward white honeycombed ceilings. Light streams through stained glass panes, dyeing pale marble floors indigo as the heart of a lake. 3 white peacocks stroll away from her, long feathered tails blue then not as they amble through patches of painted light. A breeze carries an echo of fountains burbling unseen, of raindrops striking broad leaves, of the rich smell of damp earth. A tug at the thread. Who beckons? Whose misty voice winds silk around her wrist to draw her down the corridor? She must know. So she follows the lazy peacocks to the head of a great sweeping staircase, and then descends.